Circle up.
Yeah.
I think we should circle right in front of.
That's why I just said circle up. Circle up. They heard who was coming. Somebody told them who was coming.
They knew what it was. They knew what the fuck it was.
Got my phone ringing in the car?
They knew what the fuck going on.
This is not a circle. This is a straight line. Circle up.
Everybody want to be under this one. Right.
Oh, shit, they're West Dallas Police. Okay. They showed up? They showed up.
Say his name.
Corey Stingley.
Say his name.
Corey Stingley.
What's his name?
Corey Stingley.
What's his name?
Corey Stingley.
You forget.
Corey Stingley.
You forget.
Corey Stingley.
You forget.
Corey Stingley.
Justice Ford.
Corey Stingley.
Say his name.
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 Corey Stingley.
What's his name?
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 Corey Stingley.
Justice Ford.
Corey Stingley.
Justice Ford.
Corey Stingley.
Justice Ford.
Corey Stingley.
Justice Ford.
Corey Stingley.
Don't forget.
Corey Stingley.
Don't forget.
Corey Stingley.
Don't forget.
Corey Stingley.
Don't forget.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey
Corey Stingley.
Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey
Corey Stingley.
Stingley. Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
Corey Stingley.
That man we just got through hearing talk about his son, I don't think people understand who he is or the magnitude of what he did on his own. Aside from all the marching and everything that he's done with other families or that we've done on behalf of that case, when I say that man has, first of all, he's an inventor. Literally, he created a golf club that is used all over the world.
He created the Stingley?
He
created
Yes.
the Stingley?
Get the fuck out of here.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Damn. I had a Stingley.
That's first of all. Second of all, that man has become pretty much his own attorney, his own prosecutor, his own legal analyst. And even aside from all of this, that man found the time to invest in me, to invest in other leadership in this movement over the years. When we had our school, It Takes a Village and Community Empowerment and Solution Center on 6th and Concordia for a year, he invested in our program. He brought his golf program, a virtual golf program, into the building with us. So beyond the hero, beyond the icon, we need to understand who people are and know when we have history and icons in our midst. That man is beyond humble. That is greatness standing, and he has so much to offer the movement and offer us and offer these other families.
Yeah.
So I appreciate him actually coming out and being part of this. The spot that we stand at, in this store in particular, like you said, if you have not seen what happened to him, if you have not, ever heard of this story or, seen it before the post, it really speaks for itself. And just like the other day when we were at the Alphabetos, I said, this is Corey Stingley all over.
Yeah.
But not only can off-duty police officers kill us, not only can apparently people who work for the fire department walk into bars and kill us, but random individuals inside of a store can choke you to death.
Random.
And RDA refused to prosecute them. So I admire Mr. Stingley's activism in his own right. It's just so amazing. We really need to grasp the things that are happening and the things that have happened in this city and in this state. Because so much has happened that you won't hear in other stories, that you won't hear across this nation. I got in a lot of trouble protesting Trump when he campaigned here. He campaigned at Hale High School. Thousands of Trump members came to Hale High School, the high school that Corey went to. And I definitely protested that. Why did you choose Hale High School to come here?
We're at the place Corey Stingley. An altercation with that
Corey
was murdered.
Is a representation, and really what happened with the Acevedo.
Yeah.
With him saying, I just want to go home. He said that for all of us, for all of the people who have ever lost their life. That's all they wanted was to go home. They could have let Corey go home, man.
It was his right.
It's so messed up. Even if the person has done something wrong, there is a process. And you should be able to go through the process that's there for you to go through. We can't even survive to even get in a police car to even go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the cases that, I came across in my beginning. Like I said, Craig Stingley has been marching these streets, has been standing with families for years and years. He pops in and now, because apparently he's been his own, like I said, all of those things that I mentioned before. And to hear that great news of his is, I know, overwhelming to him, but it should be very energizing for y'all too.
Yeah.
Because like he said, watching what y'all have been able to do, watching what has gone on in the past 215 days, that gives some of these people the energy to keep going themselves.
Yeah.
And for that, I appreciate y'all. I'm sure he does. He said he does. And that should give y'all motivation to know that you are in the right place. You are where you are supposed to be. It don't matter how many people are left out here. What y'all are doing, y'all continue to inspire communities. Y'all continue to inspire victims. Y'all continue to inspire the nation with y'all consistency. And I appreciate being able to be here and share this with y'all, and I hope this continues. I told Jackie it would be very nice to see TPR back here this time next year.
Yeah.
Still 14th next year.
14th. No, but what I mean by that is continuing this fight. We passed the 200 days. That part is over and done with. So now we have to set new goals. Now we have to set new things to achieve and to accomplish. And we got to do that together. And so I appreciate you allowing me to speak.
We love you, Brother Vaughn.
Love you too. Man.
Okay, so I just want to say this real fast, y'all. Something that keeps being a pain in my ass is our situation with DA Chisholm. We really need a new fucking DA, right? Now there's going to come a time where Chisholm can be recalled. Because there was just an election. I want to encourage everybody here, if we as a community can research and find somebody to be in this seat.
I have somebody I want to nominate.
We gotta find them. We gotta find a DA. We have to. It is imperative to the survival of our community in Milwaukee that we find a new DA.
We definitely don't talk about
Because Chisholm is the fucking puppet
Oh, you tell
of
them.
all of this white supremacist system.
I don't know.
He's got the highest body count of them all.
This is he, and we're not gonna miss our words and try to make it seem like, oh no, he is part of this white supremacist system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I and my black ass two friends is in the store and somebody lily white child try to steal and we choke them to death, I will never see the fucking light of day again.
Absolutely.
Never. And you mean to tell me he can look in a camera on the news and all these different interviews, he can look in that camera and seriously say shit like, oh, we didn't do it because we'll never have a chance to do it again. Bitch, are you kidding me? We need a new DA now. We all need to seriously start working on this shit, because if we don't, we gonna be here the next election time come around and we gonna be looking at Chisholm as the only person on the ballot again. This is serious, y'all. He has shown time and time again he will continue to fail us, the real people in this community. He's gonna continue to do that. So it's imperative. This is really serious, y'all. We have to find a new DA. We have to. Otherwise, this system is gonna keep fucking us all sideways, and we're gonna have to continue to worry about our children. My son is 10 years old. 10 years old. Corey Stingley was 16. 16. He didn't live shit yet. His life ain't even start yet. And D.A. Chisholm can look his family in the face and tell them, I can't do this. This is wrong. This is really wrong. And it's really time for us to really take this responsibility serious. We all have a civic responsibility to ourselves, to our community, to our children. We have to find a new DA. So moving forward, I want that to be on everybody's mind in this movement. How do we get these people out of these seats? Them seats is hot. They've been sitting there for too long. We need to get them out.
Just to touch on something Camilla was talking about very briefly, because it's cold as shit out here. We live in a society where there are two different sets of rules. Kind of like what Vaughn just said, kind of like what Camilla touched on. If me, Vaughn, and Oscar were in there right now, we held Joey down because Joey was in here stealing. Me, Vaughn, and Oscar would have been charged with third murder for that one murder. You hear me? We live by two separate rules, set of rules in society. And I think TPR, in conjunction with other organizations out here, are working very hard every day to change that narrative. I think D.A. Chisholm, he's been in office for too long. He recognized that the city of Milwaukee as a whole doesn't care about these black lives. But this year he got some different energy. You hear me? Yes. And we're gonna keep that energy moving from here, and we're gonna keep it moving into the future. We gotta keep this pressure on D.A. Chisholm until he quit, or until we find his replacement. And we gotta put people in office who service the good of all of us, and not just a handful of us. So we're gonna do a moment of silence, y'all. Somebody else has something to say. I'm sorry, Khalil got something to say. I'm sorry.
I agree with everybody.
Thank you, brother.
I agree with everybody. I think, like in what Ron was saying about finding new lanes and new avenues, like what Craig Stingley did tonight is a spark, right? Like, this is why we fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when we looking at like how Corey Stingley went through them laws and he found them laws, them statutes, one of the things that TPR are suggesting that we should look to grow to is lobbying.
Yeah.
Like we should look at lobbying out in Madison,
Yeah.
in the city. Like, cause you know you got city lobbying, and then you got state, and you know you got county. But we should look to becoming an official lobby group that change legislations, you know, by looking up different type of statutes that goes against the United States Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. And this is how we sustain the protest, right? Because the protest must be connected to a cause, right? Like over the summer, George Floyd was the cause. He wasn't the only person, but his face became the cause of everybody else's in their local state and city, right? So Craig Stingley and what he's doing for his son Corey is another cause. But what he did was he looked at a state statute that he's looking to challenge one law to another law. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta be able to go to the city attorney's office and say the police officers are guilty because statute XYZ says this, right?
And push that
That's how
down.
you hold them accountable. Because what we did over the summer and what we're doing now in Vine, outstanding over the Christmas gifts and the 800 gifts that you was able to give families, that this builds community. And TPR, the winter coat drive that y'all did, like that is what builds community. But what we must do in connection with building community is we must change legislation. Legislative laws must change in order to progress the revolution. Because if not, then we run out of causes. We waiting on the next person to die to be the next cause. And by the time the next person dies, we already lost the battle. So, I'm willing to help out in developing what that looks like for TPR to get involved in lobbying and legislative changes in our city, county, and state government. And us doing the research and going to the people who will put in office and say, pass this legislation or else. And that's when we get into the recall. And even when we look at the recall, like we try to recall Mayor Tom Barrett and Governor Walker, and they both failed. But the reason why they have failed is because it only lasts for a minute without sustainable reasons why this person must go. So if it's connected to the Black Lives Matter movement over the summer, a lot of people faded out of that already. So if we're looking to use that as the platform, a lot of people are not going to buy in. But if you take the history, right? He's been district attorney for what, over 20 years? You take this history of all of this report card over the last 20 years, the homicides, the this, the that, and you present that as evidence of why his 20 years have been a failure. That's what sticks to people. It's like mashed potatoes and meat, something that sticks to the bone. So, this is beautiful. We got past the 200 days. We're moving into, the winter phase. But come summer, the revolution, and I've seen the post that says 2021, New Year, same fight. Yes, same fight for social justice, but a different method, a different way, a different look. Because it must evolve every time. It can't look that if you try to do the same thing we did last summer off of the same basis, then we waiting on somebody to die.
Yeah.
To be the next national attention to wake up the masses of the people, and that's not gonna work. So it's the same fight, but we got to always infuse new methods into the fight. And that's all I want to say. Long live the revolution.
Long live the revolution.
So we gonna do
another moment of silence for Corey Stingley. Obviously, all the other brothers and sisters that we've lost as well. I mean, today specifically for Corey Stingley, but it's a lot. I mean, like, Andre Hill, that's a tough one. Real tough one. So, all of our brown and black brothers and sisters that have been lost at the hands of police brutality, gonna take a moment of silence for them. But before I do that, I'm gonna say what's their names 4 times. And I want y'all to say 4 different names. 4 different names. And then we're gonna do a moment of silence. What's their names?
Corey Stingley.
What's their names?
Seville Smith.
What's their name?
Breonna Taylor.
What's their name?
Joel Acevedo.
Enough is enough.
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 Corey Stingley.
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 Corey Stingley. Long live the revolution!
Alright, everybody, love y'all.
Love you too.
Y'all get home safe. Safe. See y'all tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Wellness Day. Wellness Day is tomorrow. So y'all see it. It's gonna be, virtual wellness classes for everybody. So y'all gonna see that.